Welcome to Law Sessions. I am Jennifer Housen. In this session, we will consider the land law topic of leasehold covenants. Now, leasehold covenants is really an extension of the lease lecture that you would no doubt have already seen. And leasehold covenants will first of all assume that there is a lease in place. And again, in a previous lecture, a session dealing with leases, you would have understood what that was. As it relates to leasehold covenants, what we are considering here are the terms which are agreed in a lease that relate to the parties' obligations in their capacities as landlord and tenant. Leasehold covenants tends to be what persons consider a fairly dry topic, but the fact of the matter is, if you manage to understand the rights and duties on each party, it tends to be a fairly straightforward topic to deal with in an exam. Because once you know what the rights and duties of the landlord are and what the rights and duties of the tenants are, then once you're given a problem question, you should be able to go through and work out what is required from each and what the extent of the obligations are on both parties. So what we will start with, of course, is we will look at the rights and duties of the landlord and tenant. Now, every lease will set out the obligations of the landlord and the obligations of the tenant under a lease. Now, the obligations of the parties are known as covenants and conditions. Every lease, no matter how informal it will have a number of provisions which define the obligations of the parties. Indeed, even if it is an oral contract and therefore an oral lease, at the very least you know where the property is located and how much you're going to pay the rent for. So no matter the informality, it does give you some extent of the knowledge of the provisions which define the obligations. Now, why do you need these covenants and conditions? Well, first of all,